Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Welcome. OSBA Championship Weekend here live from Ryerson's Mattamy Athletic Center in the heart of downtown Toronto. I'm Chris McKee doing the play-by-play, joined by Ryan Siegel to my left. So on the floor for Orangeville, number 11, Matthew Alexander Moncrief. Number 5, Tyree Samuel. Number 3, Shamar Rattan-Mays. And Justice Prentice, number 1. Joe Jones is number 15. So on the floor for Central Tech, number 10. Yeah, we've got, the numbers are way off already. I don't know who 10 is. 0 is Malachi Davis. Number 11 is DeAndre Goldburn. 21 is Nas Roberts. And 33 is Jamal Fuller.
Either way, we got to work through the punches. This should be a very exciting 1 versus 8 matchup.
So 10's the only guy we got to find out who it is. And I think it's Colleen Mullins. That's who it is, number 10. Colleen Mullins. So there we go. We're set. So Orangeville comes in 18-1, the number 1 team in the OSBA, the number 1 team in Canada, up against Central Tech, 6-13. But don't let the record fool you. This Central Tech team can play.
Yeah, they had a very interesting season, some ups, some downs, but they're in the big game today up against a big favorite, Orangeville, who's 18-1. Let's put that into NBA terms. That's 77-5. Step aside, Golden State Warriors. There's a new juggernaut in town.
As Malachi Davis missed on his first attempt, my favorite player on Central Tech. This kid can shoot from anywhere in the gym. Watch for number 0 on Tech. Mullins can't get it to go. Shamar Rattan-Mays comes up with a loose ball. Shamar running the point. Everything runs through him, through Orangeville. Big Joe Jones using his body. No foul there. Joe looking for the foul. I'm with him. Great vision inside and swatted away Joe Jones. You don't want to wake up Joe that early.
No, you do not. One of the best defenders on the inside, and you can definitely see why. Huge body, very good laterally as he picks up the first foul of the game.
So Malachi Davis will go to the line and shoot 2. Malachi, very wiry, but this guy literally, as soon as he steps over half court, that's his range. He can shoot from anywhere in the gym.
And Malachi Davis putting Central up 1-0. Should we end the game here?
Tech might hope that, but hey. So thanks for joining us here on the OSBA YouTube stream. Don't forget to click subscribe, that red button. Stay up to date on all things OSBA. Follow OSBA on Instagram and Twitter. Excuse me. Matthew Alexander Moncrief. Moncrief had the pleasure, as Joe Jones gets his first basket. Moncrief doing the BioSteel All-Canadian announcement this week on TSN. Cool honor for him. Mullins short on that attempt. Shamar with the loose ball. Shamar, great vision to Prentice. Moncrief, Euro step.
Oh, that is one fancy Euro step heading all the way to the East Coast.
Matthew Alexander Moncrief, lovely finish. Shamar. Samuel in the corner, Justice Prentice. Good ball movement from Orangeville early on. Tyrese with the 3, can't get that to go. Rebound, Jamal Fuller. Oh, you know what? He was going for the dunk, let it slip out of his hands. That's Nas Roberts. Was going for the highlight reel instead of the easy lay-in. Prentice inside to Joe Jones. Joe can outmuscle just about anybody in the league. Tyrese from the corner. Tyree Samuel for 3.
Line it up and knock it down. Tyree Samuel for 3.
Tyrese, of course, committed to play at Seton Hall University next year. Had a number of offers from some of the biggest schools in the U.S., Oregon, Georgetown. I seen Patrick Ewing up in the Orangeville gym a few weeks ago trying to get Tyrese's signature, but alas, he committed to Seton Hall a couple weeks ago.
You know you got a bright future when a Hall of Famer like Patrick Ewing's trying to get your signature on his team sheet.
Jamal Fuller with a big 3. So Central Tech hanging around in the early going. This is what you want to see. Absorb the early blows from Orangeville. You know they're going to score, but you got to make sure you take your shots. You put the ball in the basket as well. Excuse me. Samuel underneath to Jones, to Prentice. Justice looking for space, glides through everyone. Nice finish, Justice Prentice.
Good hezzy from Justice Prentice. getting the step, finishing strong at the rim with the right. And
so
a
travel called on Colleen Mullins. Unfortunate. So a whole bunch of scratches for Central Tech. They're working on a very short bench tonight. Orangeville, healthy, everyone running. Shamar Rattan-Mays has sat out quite a few games down the stretch, but I think it was more just for precaution. Shamar looks, as healthy as ever.
Yeah, and you can see on that step, no slowness in his game. Definitely able to switch speeds with the best of them.
Justice Prentice can't get a handle on it. Shot clock winding down. He's got to put it up. Finally does. In and out. Rebound, Colleen Mullins. Mullins guarded by Rattan-Mays. Malachi Davis. Short on that attempt. Moncrief looked like he was fouled.
And Malachi Davis, his shoes undone. It looked like he might have slipped over his shoelace.
Okay, I just noticed that as well. When he did the game, I called his game in November. That shoelace was undone, that strap. He still hasn't fixed it in 4 months.
Someone get him a new shoe. When you're in a game this important, you can't afford a shoelace to come undone.
So there's going to be times where we have to shut our mics off due to YouTube copyright. We'll keep this on. It's Naughty by Nature's Hip Hop Parade. If it's a classic song, we'll keep going because they usually don't have to deal with the copyright. But when they're playing new stuff, when they're playing Drake and Travis Scott, we got to turn this down. So Ryan, I don't know if you mentioned, I worked in music for 20 years. I was an agent. So I produced concerts for Naughty by Nature's Grammy-winning hip-hop group. For over 15 years, brought them to Canada. So.
Wow, I am very envious of you. Only 22 years old, so hopefully one day I'll be able to have a job as cool as that.
Well, you got to sell your soul to the devil working music. Working in sports, you can be a little bit more wholesome. No.
So what's your favorite artist?
I mean, I like music of all genres, right? Like I'm everything from hip-hop, EDM, rock, reggae. It goes all over the board. You can't just pick one, but too many. I like Naughty by Nature. I know that.
Oh, I do too. How can you not? I like that we can keep them on and keep talking during the break when they're on.
So 6:13 to go here in the first quarter. Excuse me. Orangeville Prep up 9-5. So this was the first year at Orangeville that they went with 3 teams up at the Athlete Institute. Normally it was just Athlete Institute and Orangeville Prep, and they split the teams evenly. This year they made Orangeville the #1 team, and then there's Athlete Institute Red, Athlete Institute Black, who neither of those teams made the playoffs. Orangeville, the top dogs in the OSBA.
Yeah, it's very difficult to field 3 teams, especially when your top is this heavy. Of course, quite a few players on Team Canada on this team. 2 players coming off the bench.
Tyree Samuel into Joe Jones. Problem with Orangeville is it's an embarrassment of riches, and sometimes you need one guy to just step up, but they have 7 as Shamar misses on that attempt. Colleen Mullins with the loose ball. Colleen races down the floor. Lovely finish, Colleen Mullins.
And right away you can see the physicality, the difference in size between these 2 teams. Orangeville out-muscles these guys, so Central's going to have to do a good job of swinging the ball around, getting everybody involved, and hitting those outside shots throughout the entirety of the game to have any chance to pull off this 1-8 upset.
So foul on Central Tech. Orangeville will inbound. Tyree Samuel getting into it underneath the basket with DeAndre Goldburn. Shamar to Moncrief. He's got the mismatch. M.A. kicks out one extra pass. Tyree Samuel for 3. Short on that attempt. Joe Jones with the rebound. Big Joe finally with the putback. Joe Jones.
Joe Jones putting in work on the inside, working on that Kevin Love triple-double. A couple offensive rebounds, and finally the putback.
Joe starting to field a whole host of offers from a number of schools all across the U.S., so you can expect to see him playing on television next year. Still undecided. Rattan-Mays with the steal. Shamar, nice lay-in. Shamar Rattan-Mays.
Rattan-Mays with the steal and the blow-by. And we have a turnover on the other end, a violation on the baseline. Orangeville's going to get the ball back.
So Shamar, obviously the younger brother of Xavier Rattan-Mays, played with the New York Knicks last year, now down in the G League. Florida State star, ACC all-rookie team a couple years ago. Colleen Mullins with the loose ball. Tech's got numbers, and a smart foul, Justice Prentice. Tech had numbers. Good foul, shut the play down.
So immediately, Central Tech's actually not playing a bad game, but you look up at the scoreline, it's already 13-7. They find themselves in a 6-point hole.
Well, I think if you're Tech, you just kind of want to hang around. Make sure you're within single digits at the half, and then hopefully try to make a run in the second half.
Yeah, the worst thing Central can do is have this game get out of hand early, have a couple heads drop, and maybe give up. As long as they're within range, as we see Joe Jones with a filthy block right at the rim. Get that out of here. 2 blocks already for the big man.
So Rakeem Darrell checking in for the first time, number 3. Dish inside to Fuller. Nice floater, Jamal Fuller.
And Fuller did a really good job of getting that shot off quickly before Jones could get over and block it again.
Rattan Mays, direct in traffic. Shamar. Prentice from the corner, short on that attempt. Knocked out of bounds, should be Orangeville ball. So for my money, Shamar is the best point guard in the OSBA. Although he wasn't recognized for that, but...
I think it's a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Like, Steph Curry's not going to win the MVP. Kevin Durant's not going to win the MVP. He just has too much talent around him to stand out like some of these other guys. A guy like Kobe Elvis, who's dropping 30 points a game, muscling his team into the position that they're in, is going to win a lot more awards than a guy who's doing the exact same thing on a juggernaut team like this.
Long 2 from Tyree. Their foot was inside the line, wasn't a 3. Counts for 2. Orangeville up 15-9. 3:40 to go in the first quarter. Great vision inside. And Joe Jones hammers Jacob Masters.
Jacob Masters with the strong finish at the rim. Joe Jones picks up his second foul. He'll see the bench.
Joe, and now Giovanni Scott comes in. Now, don't think you're getting a break when Giovanni comes in. Giovanni is one of, if not the most electric player in the OSBA.
Yeah, and he's averaging the most points on this Orangeville team, over 20 points per game, shooting at nearly a 60% clip, so he does it in efficient fashion as well.
Get your phones out whenever Giovanni's got the ball attacking the basket. You're going to get some highlight reel dunks. Giovanni committed to play at South Plains down in Texas, junior college for a year, but you'll no doubt see him the year following at one of the big NCAA programs. Giovanni with a nice turnaround, too strong on that attempt. Central Tech pushes the ball up the floor. Colleen Mullins for Jamal Fuller. Why not? Nothing but net. Jamal Fuller ties the game at 15.
Line it up and knock it down. Jamal Fuller for 3.
So Jamal, I think that's his 3rd 3, I believe, already. Moncrief yet to get going. M.A. switches hands. Nice lay-in.
Good adjustment in the air, finishing strong with the right hand.
So Matthew, down a couple weeks ago at the Basketball Without Borders camp down at All-Star Weekend in Charlotte, was an all-star at the Basketball Without Borders camp. His coaches believe he's a one-and-done NBA player. Justice Prentice for 3, short. Ooh! Tyree Samuel out of nowhere.
That's a highlight reel for real.
Tyrese, you got to box him out. Slides in, hammers that one away. Really impressed with Jamal Fuller here on Tech in the early going.
Yeah, I am. A guy has to step up like that. He has to hit those outside shots. He's doing a great job of keeping this Central Tech team in the game.
So good hustle play. Colleen Mullins, not really intimidated by the much bigger Orangeville guys, getting in there, mucking it up with Tyrese, getting under Tyrese's skin.
Yeah, Mullins, one of the more scrappy guys on the Central Tech team, a born leader, and he's going to continue to gravitate towards the confrontation in this contest no matter how big his opponents are.
19-15, 2:05 to go in the first quarter. Tech hanging. Orangeville Prep, the heavily favored team, 18-1, only lost to Thornley. Road game after coming in from the U.S. and then played a night game the night before. Just didn't have the legs. Nice steal. Rakeem Darrell push ahead. Jefferson Koulibaly seeing his first action. Nice lay-in for Jefferson.
And Koulibaly, good adoption. It looked like he was going in for the dunk, but a trailing shot blocker, he decides to lay it up and in.
Masters, we're seeing for the first time Enrique Rodriguez, number 1 into the game.
And Naz Roberts getting caught up in the air. That'll be a turnover. So Central Tech doing a pretty good job thus far of hanging around, only down by 6 as we approach the second quarter. I've really liked the way they're moving the ball, the intensity they've had, and they've only had a couple mental lapses thus far.
Koulibaly, Rattan Mays. Shamar can hit it from anywhere in the gym. Drives, nice floater, and he'll go to the line and shoot 2. Shamar Rattan Mays. So Shamar fielding a host of offers. Shamar, one of the smarter players in the league, so I think he's got Ivy League schools looking at him, Harvard, Columbia. He may go the route of Lucas Sakota on King's Christian, who had a lot of high major offers, chose to go to Harvard strictly for the education. Shamar, Scarborough's finest. Hits it. 23-15. Orangeville back out in front. If Tech's going to have any chance, some of these guys are on the second unit now. Some of these bench guys got to make a few plays and contribute. And there's Masters, lost a handle on it after missing the floater. It's going to be Orangeville ball. It
is a really good point you bring up because of how stacked this Orangeville team is on the bench. If you're going to stay in this game, the second unit guys have to keep you in it. They did a great job through the first 9 minutes of staying within it, but if they're going to have any chance of contending, they can't give up the lead with the second unit.
So Orangeville, we've yet to see Ben Hendricks, who's committed to play at Ball State, as well as Kenny Ngosi, the Bill Carruthers transfer. And Giovanni loses a handle on it. And good foul from Koulibaly. Again, good sportsmanship from Shamar, helping Jacob Masters up off the floor after he went down hard.
And that's the second time this game we've seen Masters get wiped out on a fast break. Honestly, a pretty good strategy from Orangeville because he's one of the fastest guys. He can change speeds with the best of them. And he's pretty good at finishing at the rim. But this one, we'll see him shoot free throws.
So Jacob Masters, 6'1" guard out of Toronto. He's a class of 2021. Tech, a very young team. Just about, I think, every single player will be returning next year, and if not for the next year or two. So big things ahead for this Central Tech team in the next couple of years in the OSBA. Really good team so far. Like I said, the record doesn't really show the talent level. They're really young, but this will be a good experience for them moving forward. Masters at the line. Gets it to go. Giovanni Scott for 3. No luck, and the follow, Ben Hendricks. Mention coming off the bench, Ben Hendricks going to Ball State next year. You know, Ben, he wants to make himself known. It's like, trust me, Ben's a very quiet guy, but he's a fierce competitor. I can tell he was none too happy sitting on the bench that long, comes in, makes himself known right away.
Any better way to get your coach's attention than checking in and throwing down a nice little alley-oop?
And again, that's Orangeville. You know, Ben's been sitting over there ice cold. You think you're going to get a quick, maybe a little bit of a breather with, you know, Joe Jones and Tyree Samuel and these guys on the bench, and then Hendricks comes in and out of nowhere. Rakeem Darrell short on his first free throw. Hits the second. 9 seconds to go. Orangeville looking for the last shot. Matthew Alexander Moncrief. That's knocked out of bounds. 3.1 seconds to go. Timer a little slow. Should have been closer to 4 seconds left. Alas, plenty of time for Orangeville to get one shot off. Look for Giovanni or Matthew Alexander Moncrief here to try and get some space. Prentice, and he's fouled. Silly foul. Jacob Masters, you don't foul, never mind with .4 left, you don't foul a three-point shooter.
No, he got a little too excited there. It looked like he was going for the block. He believed it, but the referee said, no, you're shooting 3 throws.
Good call, absolutely, got some arm. Seen it right in front of us, but there's that inexperience from Central Tech, just those mental errors.
And in a game like this, you cannot afford mental errors because Orangeville will not make them, and they will punish you when you get them.
Jefferson missed his first one. Hits the second. And Central Tech got some time here to heave one on the inbound here. I'd give it to Malachi Davis. He could probably get it down the floor. There it is. Malachi wants it. Didn't set himself right. So at the end of one, Orangeville Prep 27, Central Tech 18.
After an exciting first quarter, Orangeville Prep leads 27-18.
Not a bad first quarter. They're really hanging in there still. It is a 9-point lead, but you couldn't expect much better play from Central Tech. A couple mental mistakes, which cannot be the case if they're going to win this game, which resulted in a few points, but this game could easily swing the other way in the second quarter if they're able to bog down on the defensive end, start clogging the lanes a little more, which clearly isn't easy when the majority of the time 4 out of the 5 guys are going to be 6'10 and above.
Ooh, jamming out to some big pun here. I'm not a player, I just crush a lot. It's going back late 90s, classic tune. R.I.P. Big Pun. So we talked a little bit about this in the morning game here, the history of this building here at Ryerson's Mattamy Athletic Center. Of course, the former Maple Leaf Gardens, home to all these classic events. I mentioned Muhammad Ali fought George Chafalo here, the Postman here, Beatles, Elvis Presley, Jimi Hendrix, all in this building. And of course, the last time the Toronto Maple Leafs won a Stanley Cup, 1967, right here in this building.
Don't even bring that up. Maybe this year. They're looking pretty good this year, the Maple Leafs. They could definitely pull out a Stanley Cup over the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years with this young core they got. Austin Matthews signing that long extension. John Tavares locked up for 5 years. It's going to be very interesting.
They just, you know what? This city Toronto's been a Toronto Maple Leafs town from day one, and I never thought I would ever see that change, but the Raptors fan base, the cultural makeup of what the city of Toronto is changing. This is becoming a Raptors city, and if the Leafs don't win one soon, the tide is going to turn. This will be a basketball-first town within the next decade.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what Kawhi Leonard does. Will we bring a championship home via basketball, or will we bring a championship home via hockey first? I've only seen a soccer championship in my lifetime.
Yeah, TFC, that's right. Jamal Fuller showing some moves, weaves through everybody. Can't get it to go. Rebound, Matthew Alexander Moncrief. Rattan Mays
great
on the
move.
floor. And Shamar goes down hard. He's tripped up inadvertently. Who's number 20 on Central Tech? We don't have that.
Moncrief just blew by Malachi Davis like he wasn't even there.
Can you check on Central Tech, see if we can get number 20 on there?
Will do.
Oh, there we go. We got one. Kevin Gurr, number 14 is 20. So Kevin Gurr. Ngure, I think the coach said that's how it's pronounced. So I'll go with that. 29-18. Orangeville opened up their largest lead of the game right now. Fuller inside to Ben Hendricks, stood his ground. Good no call by the ref there. Malachi Davis hasn't had an inch of space yet.
Yeah, verticality rule. Shout out to Roy Hibbert.
And Rodriguez, a little errant with that pass. Out of bounds, careless ball. Orangeville will inbound. Davis guarding Rattan Mays. Shamar looking for help. Giovanni comes. Inside to big Ben Hendricks. Ben, turnaround jump shot, too strong on that attempt. I could see Ben midair being like, do I use glass or do I go rim? And he went somewhere in between. And bit of a reckless foul called on Shamar. That's Shamar's second. Davis will inbound. So Kevin Ngure. Davis from way downtown. Ball bouncing around. Moncrief, let him play for a minute. Ball was still moving. Possession arrow favors Orangeville. So we got some celebrities sitting here. Tyler Ennis, former LA Laker, sitting front row here just to our right. Tyler recovering from an injury he sustained earlier this year in Europe. Great to see him looking a lot healthier, walking around. Giovanni Scott, he looks plenty healthy.
Giovanni Scott rocking the rim and the backboard.
31-18. Let's see if that one wakes up Orangeville Prep. There's that energy off the bench I mentioned with Giovanni. Good ball movement. Malachi drives, pumps, and Giovanni just out-muscles him, rips it away from him. Rattan Mays, I've said it 100 times, smartest player in the OSBA. So much court savvy, such a high basketball IQ, and has that knocked out of bounds off his foot.
That's what we like to call the commentator's curse right there.
That's exactly it. Well, shout out to my guy Drew from On Point underneath the basket. Don't forget to check out On Point Basketball and also On Point on Instagram. I contribute a lot of content to Drew's site. Big supporter of basketball here in Toronto. And Giovanni Careless leans in on Mullins. Gave him a good whack in the face. So substitution coming in, Nas Roberts. The last time I called Nas's games, I researched a whole bunch of Nas, the rapper's records, and I was waiting for him to make a big dunk, and I was going to throw in these Nas lines, and he didn't make any plays. So I didn't research any Nas songs this time. Yeah.
You're a music guy. You shouldn't have to research that.
Well, I got to brush up. You know what I mean? Because I was looking for the one with no cursing is what I was doing.
Oh, that's going to be difficult.
Yeah. Moncrief spins around and what? Yeah, I'm with MA. How? He just spun around with the ball and someone bumped into him. Matthew, a very quiet player, doesn't really express emotion ever, and unless he's wronged. And in this case, I'm with MA. So Tyree Samuel back into the game. Moncrief will have a quick breather. So Orangeville takes one future NBAer out for another one.
That's not bad when you have that kind of options on your bench. It's a really good problem for a coach to have, eh?
So Giovanni just hammered Mullins again, put a shoulder into him. And Giovanni, big boy, Giovanni goes probably 225, 230 on a 6'7" frame. Not a dude you want to run into. And now Giovanni has a breather. We're seeing Kenny Ngosi for the first time. Kenny wearing number 22. Ngure. Jamal Fuller's had the hot hand from three, short on that attempt. Mullins with the loose ball, nice floater. Colleen Mullins.
Good finish from Mullins, getting the shot off quick, ill affording the shot blocker to get over.
31-20. Lead 11 for Orangeville. Koulibaly running the point now with Shamar on the bench. And Jefferson, he's just as good as Shamar.
Wow!
Hendricks.
Koulibaly hitting up Hendricks. He hurt the rim.
Ben Hendricks killing him since he's come in off the bench. And that's allowed Joe Jones to sit there and not chew up any fouls. Fuller for three, short. And nice save. And, that's why the big mans don't dribble the ball. Yeah. For everything Ben can do, ball handling is not one of his best attributes. So I've got interviews, as mentioned, I do the Orangeville games every week, have for the past couple of years now. Check out my YouTube page, Chris McKee on YouTube. Got a bunch of interviews with all these guys, highlights throughout the year. I got one of Malachi Davis up there from a few weeks ago. Usually try to get at least one player interview. And how's that a foul called on Koulibaly? Tony McIntyre puzzled, and I don't blame him. Central Tech getting all the calls here in the first quarter. Sorry, second quarter, forgive me. So in between, I went and taught a class, a music marketing class up the street at Trebas Institute for the Arts.
Did you get there on time?
I was about 6-7 minutes late, no big deal. I'm the teacher, so they got to wait for me.
Yeah,
so how about you? What class did you have?
I had a radio announcing, and I was supposed to do a 2-hour show. But it got cut down to an hour and a half because I was about a half an hour late.
Well, just tell them, hey, I was on TV, so
yeah, look at me, Mom, I'm on TV.
Yeah. Prentice. Kick out, Ben Hendricks. Ben weaves through. Took about 9 steps. Ben, you ain't James Harden's son.
I was about to go there too. James Harden Eurostep. He's traveling all the way down to Europe.
Tony McIntyre with a smile. Tony thought it was as funny as I did, which is good. Because you don't see Ben put the ball on the floor and attack the basket. Normally he'll muscle his way in or sneak in the back for a dunk, as we've seen already.
Oh, great move. I thought that was going to finish, but he did do a good job of using his body and keeping control.
Tyree Samuel. Kick out. Ngozi should have took it. Didn't need the extra pass. Samuel lost the handle on it.
Oh, wow.
They're playing volleyball down there now.
3-on-2.
Mullins kick out. Nice extra pass. And Masters misses on that attempt.
And to have any chance of beating this Orangeville team, you got to connect on those wide open threes.
So Koulibaly led Ngozi just a little too far on that attempt. Orangeville threw that one away. Jamal Fuller. So Jamal, a class of 2021, still a young guy. You can see he's got to lean out a little bit as he gets older. But in his defense, and there's nicely done. But he kind of had a similar frame to what Giovanni Scott had 2 years ago. Giovanni was a little thicker, and then as he got a little old, he just leans out, get that time in the gym. I think Jamal, plenty of time.
Well, one thing I can say about Jamal Fuller, he's got a very nice jump shot, a lot of range, very mechanically sound that he just pulls up, and he can hit it from just about anywhere, 2, 3, 4, 5 feet behind the three-point arc. And that's very unexpected for a guy who's only in grade 10, who will be a lot better of a player over the next 2 years.
I'm really impressed with him. You can see he's got the tools, and he can put the ball on the floor and attack the basket. He's really agile for a big guy. Bright future for Jamal. I love your smile. What is this, Janice, I believe? Is it? It's going back. No, it's a remake of it. That's what it is. Nothing new these days. Everything's ripped off from old songs.
Yeah, that's how they make millions.
Wow, yeah, just borrow. I don't have an original idea. Let's just remake something else someone else has done. So I'm Chris McKee doing the play-by-play. You can check me out on Twitter at Mr. McKee, MRMCKEE. Drop us a line. Let us know you can hear me loud and clear. Ryan Siegel, he just set up his Twitter earlier. Ryan, what's the Twitter?
The Twitter is...
It's loading up.
Drum roll, please. Sir Ryan Siegs, SIRRYANSEGS. Follow it up. I'm going to be updating all the OSBA
I'm going to be
content.
your first follower. Let me do the honors. All right?
Wow. A celebrity is my first follower.
So let me get on that.
Be uploading a lot of OSBA content as well as NBA predictions, NBA opinion, and all my opinions from around all the professional leagues.
There we go. And that's it. You got a follower now. There you go.
Amazing.
Now you got to follow back, right?
Of course. There you go. You got one more follower.
Bingo.
Once again, it's Sir Ryan Siegs. Sir Ryan, SEGS.
Drop us a line. Let us know how the audio is coming in, because sometimes I go home and listen to the replay. I'm either too loud or too low. I did a Ridley Kings Christian game a couple weeks ago. The sound was just so low. So please drop us a line. Let us know you can hear us loud and clear, or ask us to turn it down. Justice Prentice to Samuel underneath to Hendricks. And
3-on-1 right here.
Almost came into the table. Malachi Davis, easy floater, gets the lead back down to single digits, 33-25.
Great feed, making it an easy finish and cutting the lead down to 8.
So not sure what the call is. Are they going to allow that basket or what? Or are they calling it because Kenny was out of the...
I'm a little confused as to what they called as well. Nonetheless, still an 8-point lead. Justin Parenthis controlling the play right now. And a good interior pass. Great finish on the inside. Tyree Samuel.
Samuel with the hook shot.
Making it look easy on the inside. Tyree Samuel going to work.
So Tyrese has had a bit of an odd season as Mullins can't get the roll, unlucky. And here's Samuel. Get your phone out. Oh, he lost a handle on it. Hammers it down, almost rips the rim off. So Tyrese, once he committed to Seton Hall, Orangeville cut his minutes because I think they want to preserve him. They're like, I don't want this kid getting injured. And he hasn't played a good chunk of time in the OSBA play in the second half of the season. When they go down to the grind session schedule, when they play in the U.S., Fuller, nice floater, looking for that and one. Either way, nicely done from Jamal. But now Tyrese is in this weird thing where he's got to kind of crank it up again and get his A game back.
Yeah, and I'm sure it won't be too difficult for this guy. He's a seasoned professional, and when you got a team who's good enough to pick up 18 wins, as we see a steal and a couple offensive rebounds, still can't get anything to go. And we see a foul down there, but they got to do a better job of securing those offensive rebounds, does Central. They're going to keep in this game in any way, shape, or form.
So we had a big block from Jamal Fuller earlier before that whole kerfuffle under the basket, and Jamal gets called with a foul. That's his first.
But as I was saying earlier, when Tyree Samuel sits, it's not like they're losing games. 18 wins out of 19 this season. You can definitely afford to play one of your best guys a little bit less when you have so much consistency behind him.
Can we see the comments on the YouTube from there? Let's see if anyone's letting us know how the volume is. Just want to make sure. No? Can you go to the YouTube game, the stream of it, and see and make sure our volume's good? Orangeville with the steal. Push ahead to
get out your cell phones. And one. Great finish there by Shamira Mays. Excuse me, Jefferson Koulibaly. Got a little different numbers written on the sheet here. Nonetheless, still a great finish.
So Jefferson will go to the line. Jefferson in his first season with Orangeville Prep. Orangeville pressing here, trying to create some turnover. They really want to put Tech away or put them in a hole. Nice kick ball from Ben Hendricks. I see Ben rocking around wearing an Arsenal jersey quite a bit at the gym, so showing his soccer skills right there.
That kind of blows. That's not a great team to support right now.
I'm a Liverpool fan, so you don't have to
me
tell
too.
me. There we go.
Nice.
Well, my family's
Big
from
game on
Liverpool.
Wednesday.
I'm the first one in my family born in Canada. They're all from Liverpool, so
nice.
It's religion in my house, not being a fan.
I just like Steven Gerrard back in the day. English legend.
Now the manager for Glasgow Rangers.
Good reference there. Yeah. Big game on Wednesday against Bayern Munich.
Yeah, Champions League. We got Koulibaly. Shot clock winding down. Really careless with that pass. Fuller with the loose ball. Tech's got numbers, and Jamal, he's only got eyes for one thing, the basket. And is it an and one? It is. Jamal Fuller draws the and one.
Jamal Fuller, take it in the lane and finish it yourself, big man.
Basket is good for Jamal Fuller. Foul is called on Jefferson Koulibaly, his third foul.
So Koulibaly gets called with his third. Joe Jones still buried on the bench. So is Moncrief. We're going to see Rattan Mays come back into the game. Goaltending is going to be called on Samuel. Unfortunate. He looked guilty. Tyrese knew, so I'll give the refs that one.
Yeah, that ball was not going in, but you still can't touch the rim.
So timeout on the floor. Orangeville hanging on to a 10-point lead. Orangeville really yet to get going. A couple nice dunks from Ben Hendricks and Giovanni Scott and Tyree Samuel, but still haven't really created that separation to put Tech away. And this is, what I said off the bat is if Tech can hang out, keep it at single digits, go into the half, they're going to have a chance in the second half to win this game.
Yeah, if they can go into the half, maybe 35, 45, something like that, keep it within 10, they're going to be very happy with their chances of going into the second half and coming out with a potential win. The biggest problem, though, going down the stretch is if you get buried by this team, start losing by 15 or 20, it's going to be very difficult for the Central Tech team to rally around a chance to come back because of how good this Orangeville team is, not only at playing the game, but at closing out opponents and almost demoralizing them down the stretch. You look back at the recent games they had, 2 against Central Tech. The first one, Orangeville won 110-88. That was just before December, and the second game they had was February 11th, where they took the game by 22 points, 83-61. So not embarrassing games. They've been hanging around by around 20 points, and with a team like Orangeville, who can blow out any team on any given night, it's a respectable score.
The game I called, they were in it till about midway through the fourth quarter before Orangeville create a little separation. Rattan Mays back onto the floor. Tyree Samuel, Kenny Ngosi, Justice Prentice, and Ben Hendricks for Orangeville. Shamar turns it over, and good foul again, Orangeville prep. You see heady plays by the Orangeville guys.
And that's the third time we've seen a foul, and this one's going to be a clear path to the bucket foul. I don't agree with it because it definitely looked like one of the Orangeville players was between the basket and the man who had the ball, so they'll have 2 shots and retain possession.
Silly. I agree with you. There was another Orangeville player behind Ben, but still the right foul for Ben to do. So Malachi Davis at the free throw line. Malachi played at Mother Teresa up in the Malvern area of Scarborough. Before coming to Central Tech, Malachi's a 2021, so a bright future for him. My thing's he's got to get a few pounds on him. He's got to get a little thicker, right? If he's going to be physical, get in there because he can shoot from anywhere.
Yeah, and especially when you're matching up with guys like this, if you're under 150, under 160, it's very difficult. To be a great pass on the inside, finished off.
DeAndre Goldburn with the finish. So here, chipping down this lead, 41-34. Central Tech making a move. Orangeville out of sorts right now.
And Central Tech got a lot of fans here today. Only about 10 minutes from the Mattamy Athletic Center is their home court.
Obviously, everyone rooting for the underdog.
Now only a 7-point lead. I'm sure if you asked Kevin Jeffords before the game if he would take this, he would accept it 9 times out of 10.
So Orangeville ball underneath the basket. Tyrese will inbound. So it looks like Tech's going to go with a press, try to create some kind of a turnover. They've yet to really do that in the game. Shamar got to push the ball up the floor. Too easy for him. And a careless foul, Malachi Davis.
Careless foul indeed. You don't need to do that. You're doing a great job of pulling your way back into this game. Don't get into foul trouble. Don't give them easy buckets. Now they'll be in the bonus for the next minute 33.
So back onto the floor is Rakeem Darrell, number 3. For Tech. Ben Hendricks gives back to Rattan Mays. Shamar hasn't really gotten going offensively. Led the OSBA in assists this year. Samuel kicks out. Ngosi from the corner. Nothing but net. Kenny Ngosi.
Ngosi rising up and knocking it down from the corner.
Ben Hendricks got away with a foul there. Slapped the hand of Goldburn. 1:08 to go in the half. Lead still at 10 for Orangeville. So anytime Tech reels them in, Orangeville creates a little separation to keep themselves comfortable.
Dangerous pass there.
Mullins from way downtown, can't get it to go. Rebound, Ben Hendricks. Ben putting the ball on the floor.
And see, that's where that earlier foul comes into play. Now they'll be shooting free throws.
Mullins called with that foul, number 10. We're going to see Rodriguez coming back in with 51.5 to go. So if you're Orangeville, you haven't really gotten the engine revving, and a lot of your A-list guys are still sitting over on the bench. Joe Jones barely played, Matthew Alexander Moncrief, and Giovanni Scott all just sitting there, and they haven't really kind of gotten it going. So you shouldn't really be concerned at all if you're Orangeville.
But Joe Jones early in this game picked up a couple. He checked back in for a couple minutes, and I think he picked up his third. So if it comes to the point where he's in foul trouble, that could spell a little bit of trouble for them down the stretch.
Nice vision inside. Fuller, he's got to catch that and put the ball up. Don't put the ball on the ground. There's that inexperience coming in. Catch and shoot. No need to dribble when you're a foot away from the basket.
It's easier said than done, though, when you're half a foot shorter than those other two shot blockers on the inside.
Samuel. Prentice thought about it. Held up.
See if they can get the 2-for-1 here.
Justice weaves through everyone. Justice Prentice can't get it to go. Ben Hendricks.
A foul. Interesting call there. I thought it was a jump ball.
So Ben will go to the line and shoot 2. Mentioned Ben, committed to play down at Ball State University. He's going to play in the MAC next year, which is a really great conference. Mentioned during the first game, I was down at Akron University. Watch Akron versus Kent. Some great MAC action. Buffalo, who's been ranked all year. They're the number 1 team in the MAC right now. Toledo, Kent State, they're all really good teams. So Ben's going to play in some pretty fierce competition for the next 4 years. Rattan Mays. Shamar through everyone, dishes up to Hendricks. Ben and 1, Ben Hendricks.
And the basket good for Ben Hendricks.
So 2 weeks ago when I was up at Orangeville, Ben was the high point guy, 25 points, couple big alley-oops, just all over the place. And Ben continuing to pick up where he left off in the last couple home games of Orangeville's season.
See, now you look up at the score. We were talking about how they would take a 7-point deficit into the break any day of the week. A minute 30 later, now they're looking at a 16-point deficit if he hits this free throw. Really burying what this team can do. And you think back to that earlier foul that was picked up in the corner. I don't really understand why they went to a press at that point. They were doing such a good job of getting back into it. Orangeville's not going to cough the ball up.
Yeah,
simply put.
I've watched every team in the OSBA at some point in the game try to press Orangeville, and it does not work ever. They work their way out of it too easily. Shamar's too good of a ball handler, and then the height of the other guys, they just play pass around. It's too easy.
And why are you getting your top guys tired at that point? You know that you're doing a really good job. You cut the lead down to 7. Maybe take a 10-point deficit to the break, but instead they changed up their strategy, which had been working. Now they're facing a 15-point deficit heading into halftime, and that's almost demoralizing.
Well, it could be more here. Lots of time for Orangeville. Try to sneak in another basket. No. One thing, we talked about that short bench. You look at Fuller, he looks gassed already, so he's going to need that break. You're wondering where the legs will be come the fourth quarter, whereas, mentioned the freshness, Matthew Alexander Moncrief and Joe Jones over there barely broken a sweat.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point with Fuller over there. He had a great first 5 minutes of the game, hitting 3 threes in quick succession. Hasn't hit a 3 since then. That could have to do with him being a little more tired, him not being as coordinated as he was during those fresh 5 minutes.
Ben Hendricks hits that free throw. Lead now at 16. Fuller spinning through. Nice fade away. Can't get it to go. Rebound Samuel. And time expires. So at the half, Orangeville Prep takes a 50-34 lead into the dressing room. I'm Chris McKee, joined by Ryan Siegel. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
34.
And we're back. OSBA Championship Weekend. Orangeville Prep, #1 seed versus the 8 seed Central Tech. Orangeville with a 50-34 lead. I'm Chris McKee, joined by Ryan Siegel. Ryan, what's Central Tech got to do? Stick around here and try to make a push in the second half.
It's honestly going to be extremely difficult. They were doing a really great job, but about a minute and a half left. They let this 7-point deficit slip all the way to 16, so it's a big uphill battle for these guys. They're outmatched physically, they're outmatched mentally. They're going to have to take a second, hit their shots, and really do a good job of swinging the basketball around as we see coast to coast right away.
That's Justice
not a good way to start. Justice
yeah.
Parentis.
Oh, on the floor for Orangeville, starting the second half, Joe Jones, who was buried on the bench, got in early foul trouble. Joe Jones 15, Tyree Samuel 5, Justice Prentice at the free throw line, Matthew Alexander Moncrief, and Shamar Rattan Mays. For Central Tech, Jamal Fuller, Colleen Mullins, Malachi Davis, 11 is DeAndre Goldburn, and 21, who am I missing again? That's Nas Roberts back on the floor. Nas was buried on the bench for a little bit there late in the second half. Or the first half, excuse me. Roberts drives, and a lovely kiss off the glass. They shook, made you look.
Nas was there.
Yeah. Prentice. Big Joe Jones, of course, the younger brother of Greg Oden, the former #1 pick in the NBA draft. He went drafted ahead of Kevin Durant. And Joe Jones Sr. in the house tonight. Saw him a couple weeks ago at senior night, sitting a couple rows behind us. So shout out to Big Joe. I missed that. What went on there?
I'm actually not too sure.
Someone's getting teed up, it looks like. So Giovanni Scott over there causing trouble on the bench with a devilish grin. But no, it's going to be Central Tech. So Shamar getting a technical, which you rarely see. Shamar, one of the more level-headed players you'll see on any basketball floor.
And Mullins cashing in.
No, Colleen.
Looks like Orangeville might try to press here, try to really get into the heads of the Central Tech team. And even if they don't get the turnover, it's going to be a really good job of wearing out these starters.
Fuller looking for help, and he tosses that one away. And thankfully, if you notice, Malachi Davis finally has some new shoes on without that strap on it, so we won't see that thing flying around.
Good observation there. Maybe they were listening to our broadcast on OSBA via YouTube.
Rattan Mays to Moncrief. M.A. glides through everybody. Can't get it to go. And Fuller, Central Tech's got numbers, got to cash in. Jamal, and he's hammered by Joe Jones. Joe looking, saying, what? I could hear he got a piece of his arm from here.
And Joe Jones with the 4th of the game, so he's going to be battling some foul trouble down the stretch here.
It's his 3rd foul.
Only 3 fouls,
only
excuse me.
3, yeah. So Fuller hits. I mentioned Jamal, just a 2021, a couple of years left. Hits them both. So Central Tech continuing to press, and another careless foul by, is that on Davis or is it on Goldburn? So we're going to see Andre St. Clair for the first time, #5 checking in.
Malachi Davis out with 3 fouls now.
So Andre, he's going about 5'8", 5'9", so if you're Orangeville, look for the mismatch on the height on him. Take some shots over top of him. Rattan Mays. Shamar, great vision.
Great pass.
Samuel can't get it to go. Rebound Roberts. Mullins. Now Orangeville with a little press of their own. Tyrese. Now here it is. He went a little simple there. I was looking for a little pump.
I think that was the least the backboard shuck on any of these dunks today. Oh, three-man press right now, forcing turnovers left, right, and center.
No. That looked like Prentice off St. Clair.
I'm going to disagree with you there. It looked like his foot was out of bounds.
Out of bounds? All right, yeah.
Good call by the referee.
Well, I thought he was a little quick on the whistle, but if the foot's there, is what it is. So timeout on the floor, Central Tech. They're going deep into their bench right now.
I like all these retro songs they're bringing
A little
up.
Too Unlimited, some late 80s, early 90s rave music. This is a staple in any hockey or basketball arena. Anywhere you go, they're going to pump some Too Unlimited. Takes me back to my rave days.
Yeah.
Big tune, yeah. So this little guy out here on the court, he's got some game. He can shoot the ball pretty well.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that. Looks like a young Steph Curry out there.
Yeah. Which, of course, Steph spent a good part of his childhood here in Toronto. Went to grade school out in Etobicoke while his father, Dell, was playing with the Raptors.
Not a bad NBA career by any of the Curry brothers.
No.
Or the father.
Yeah.
I actually saw a stat yesterday. Seth Curry has a higher three-point percentage than Steph Curry does throughout
Really?
his entire career. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, but Steph's chucking them up a lot more.
Steph's chucking them from the logo.
Yeah. So back to the action. It's going to be Central Tech ball underneath the basket. Colleen Mullins will inbound.
And Orangeville sticking with this full court pressure.
They're Moncrief, who has some of the longest arms you'll see on any human being. You know, when every NBA draft, you hear that phrase wingspan?
Yeah.
Matthews is as big a wingspan as you'll see anywhere. And he's got big hands as well to go with it. He's got those Kawhi Leonard sort of baseball mitt hands.
Oh, rough pass there.
Little ambitious from Mullins, and Roberts wasn't even ready for it. If you're going to do that, that's got to be planned. That's not something you want to improvise.
No, and that's a bit of a weird press break to me. You've got four players lined up right along the free throw line, essentially. How are you expected to break the press continuously and keep these guys fresh?
Moncrief still yet to get going, and here he is. You can see he wants it. Good extra pass. Shamar.
Oh, man, great pass.
Tyree Samuel short on that attempt. Rebound Goldburn. Mullins.
Going right at Jones.
Nice
Fuller
putback.
on the putback.
Jamal Fuller. Lead at 17. Orangeville Prep. Prentice. Shamar, wide open look for three. Why not? Shamar, Rattan Mays. Nothing but net.
So much confidence from this young man. You knew once he put that shot up, it was going in. And Orangeville sticking with this press, maybe trying to bury the Central team before the fourth quarter.
So Shamar on the OSBA all-academic list. Fuller got away with a travel there. He slid with the ball. One extra pass, Mullins. Fuller. And that's knocked out of bounds. So Lachlan Maudsley, which we've yet to see on Central Tech, he's all academic. And then Shamar Rattan Mays, the only one from Orangeville. That's 2 years in a row Shamar's on that list. And kick ball from Moncrief. So I had the chance to play some one-on-one with Matthew Alexander Moncrief a couple of weeks ago
who
at the
won?
gym. But take a wild guess.
I think you held your own. Maybe you got like
Look,
7-3?
I played some
What'd you guys play till?
to 3, and then he went, I'm bored, leave me alone. Yeah.
Did you get any buckets?
No.
Did he at least give you the ball to start?
Yes. And in and out, rims out. Rattan Mays, that's knocked out of bounds by Central Tech. No, I got up to Orangeville because I drive from Pickering up to Orangeville. Sometimes I'll leave, 3 hours, the traffic, and I got up there pretty early. Traffic was good, so I was the only one in the gym shooting around. Matthew came in and said, Chris, let's go. And so I was like, all right. And he just, blocking my face, step back three-pointer, dunked over top of me, and went, all right, I'm bored. Leave me alone.
And so did you still work that night, or did you just
bow
your head?
I was going to go cry, but yeah.
I wouldn't blame you.
Well, hey, you know what? In 3 years when I'm watching him playing for the Raptors, I can be like, hey, I play one-on-one with that guy.
I almost scored on that guy. I hit rim.
Oh, by the time he gets there, I'll allege I've scored. Well, 61-44, Orangeville cruising right now.
In 10 years, you'll have scored 1 point. In 20 years,
I'll
you'll say that you beat him
yeah.
3-2. And in 30 years, you'll say that you blanked him. Brian Scalabrini right there.
Yeah.
Dunked on him.
Rakeem Darrell will inbound for Central Tech. Shamar guarding Mullins tightly.
Oh, good move.
And nice floater, Colleen Mullins. Prentice looking for help. Gives it to M.A. Matthew.
Oh, good move.
Kick out, and they're calling a charge.
Yeah, good call. It looked like he was a little out of control. Fuller taking it in the numbers.
That's something that Matthew's ball handling has improved exponentially over the past 12 months. You know, his athleticism has always been ridiculous, but now he can put the ball on the floor and attack the basket. And keep in mind, he's still got at least 1, maybe 2 years of high school if he wants to take it. Seen all the A-list coaches in the NCAA up in the gym watching Matthew. Mentioned Georgetown up there, Seton Hall, Michigan State coaches up there a couple weeks ago, specifically to watch M.A.
Well, it might be interesting. In 2 to 3 years, there might be the chance to be one and done. So there could be to skip the college ranks and head straight to the NBA. So I wouldn't expect all of these players to go straight to the NBA, but a few of them could definitely skip college and start making money in the bigs.
Thonmaker, a nice kiss off the glass, Colleen Mullins. So Colleen playing with a little fire, trying to will his teammates back in, and a little careless with the pass is Justice Prentice. Joe wants the alley-oop, but that's not how you're going to get Joe the basketball, excuse me.
And Central Tech cutting this lead down to 13, so still a respectable margin at this point. It looked like they were going to pull away and bury them.
So one thing, I mean, still Orangeville no danger, but one thing I don't like is, what if they do get through this and they got to face a Ridley or one of these other teams that has got a little bit of a deeper bench. And so it's not good signs for Orangeville right now. Mullins from way downtown. Colleen Mullins drops a bomb on him. Ooh, lead now at 10.
Line it up and knock it down. Colleen Mullins from BC.
So Colleen single-handedly willing Central Tech back into the game right now. Loving what I'm seeing.
Yeah, he's really been the X factor thus far. He's doing a great job on both ends of the floor. On the defensive end, motivating his guys. On the offensive end, hitting his layups, hitting his shots, and finding his guys in transition. There were a few plays I can pick out right now where they just literally had to grab him and stop him from being able to get to the rim. He's really injected a lot of confidence and a lot of pace into the Central Tech side, and only a 10-point deficit at this point in the game. Very respectable score.
Whoop, there it is. So I think this is I-95 is the name of the group, I believe. I know it's named after one of those U.S. highways.
What are you, a DJ or something?
I'm a music aficionado. Yeah, yeah, I know sport. I know music even better than I know sports.
It's a good thing they're bringing out these old school favorites.
I know the new tunes as well. Yeah.
So we don't have to shut them off. We can bless our YouTube viewers with some great oldies.
So Colleen Mullins from way downtown hit that one from pretty much Scarborough. And he's got the lead down to 10, so if I'm Central Tech, keep feeding Mullins. He's been the hot hands.
See, what I don't get, why are they going to a press right now? We spoke about this earlier, and it tires their guys out, and they're on the second unit right now, so why are you not just trying to hold what you have?
Samuel, Giovanni Scott back on the floor. Shamar resets. So other than Moncrief, Orangeville's got their starting line out there. Big Joe Jones and one. He's fouled.
Jones with the buckets.
No, Big Joe will go to the line and try and convert the three-point play. Joe talked about Moncrief, how his ball handling's improved. Joe's offensive game. Last year, one of the best defensive players in the league, but now his offensive game has improved so much, and that's why he's finally starting to get some love and a handful of offers from some pretty good NCAA programs. Ugly on that free throw. Samuel with the rebound. Shamar regroups. Tyrese spin around. Lovely feed. Joe can't convert. And Joe with another foul, and now Joe's going to have to take a seat on the bench.
I think that's 4 for Joe.
Yeah. So Tony McIntyre having a word. Joe rarely shows his emotions. You can see he's frustrated. He has had a couple little ticky-tacky calls go against him. That was a blatant foul.
A blatant foul, for sure.
But some of the other earlier ones that helped get him into trouble. So I know Joe, you can see, a little frustrated.
And Joe hasn't had a great game today for his standard. Typically averaging almost, I think, about 18 points a game he's averaging. And he'll be taken out. It looked like he was going to stay in for a bit, but...
Nah. With 4, and Ben Hendricks again. You know, you've already got you put Joe on the bench. You bring an NCAA player on to replace him. Rattan Mays races up the floor. Lovely kiss off the glass. Come on now, Shamar.
There's only 2 things a defender can do there. He comes over to take the ball handler, and he'll throw it up to Ben Hendricks. If you don't, that's what happens.
Shamar waking up in the second half. You see that veteran leadership he provides, steadying the ship when maybe not everyone else is getting going. Ambitious from Mullins to attack Tyree Samuel. Here's Shamar now. Almost lost his footing. Great balance. Over to Prentice. To Samuel. He's got a mismatch. He's got about 8 inches. Take the shot. Tyrese finally does. Nothing but net for the future Seton Hall Pirate. Central Tech tried to respond, not there. Now Shamar weaves through everyone, can't get that to go. Sloppy ball right now.
Oh, just out of bounds.
Was it his foot on the blue?
Yeah, his foot was on the blue right before he touched down. He wasn't set to take the shot, so that would still count.
So timeout on the floor, Central Tech. So, you know, hey, none of these teams too familiar with playing here at Mattamy Athletic Center. Of course, the home of Ryerson University. Little getting jiggy with it. Will Smith here. Have you been down to watch any of the U Sports games here for, like at Ryerson? Have you seen any Ryerson games? Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually here yesterday. My friend invited me down. He gave me his friend's student card, so I got a ticket.
Nice.
We went to the back. It was the environment's great down there. They put on a good show. They have a good facility. The game wasn't great itself, but we got a free T-shirt. We hung out with a few of his friends and enjoyed and watched some good basketball. It's kind of fun to watch basketball at this level when you're not on the mic. As much fun as it is to be on the mic, it's cool to look at it from an objective, casual standpoint when you're not at work.
So I'm down here every Thursday night all summer. Will be again. I call women's professional volleyball in the One Volleyball League. So volleyball, obviously a winter sport. So it's all the players who play pro for the Canadian national team and all over Europe and stuff. And then they're all home in Toronto for the summer. And this is their summer league, basically.
Are you in this gym or the upstairs
This
gym?
one here, yeah. Rattan Mays through everyone. Was looking for the alley-oop to Hendricks, but Ben
That's
recovers.
not even fair.
Yeah. Ben using all 6'10" of his body. 70-33. So Ben had the chance to meet both of his parents, lovely people from a great family. See them in the gym every week over the past couple of years. Both his mom, you wonder where he gets the height. Both mom and dad are real tall. Giovanni Scott, emphatic.
Giovanni Scott looking to break the backboard.
And now this is the moment where Central Tech has got to steady the ship because it's about to get out of control. You see the energy, the tempo picking up on the Orangeville guys.
And it seems like every time Central Tech makes a run, Orangeville starts to pull away.
It's got to be frustrating. Now Jamal Fuller coming back into the game. He's been a big key. Both him and Mullins have been the hot hand. Surprised to see Malachi Davis yet to really rev it up. He's one of the best shooters in the league, but hasn't gotten going yet. Mullins. Mentioned Colleen out of Toronto. Jefferson Koulibaly back into the game for Orangeville. Samuel inbounds. When Jefferson is in, he usually takes over the point, and then Shamar will play the shooting guard. Well, basically 2 point guards out there, and there's Shamar. Gorgeous form, lovely finish. Shamar Rattan Mays. And Jamal Fuller using that frame. Can't say enough good things about Jamal Fuller. Giovanni picks up his third.
So now we have Scott with 3, Joe Jones with 4.
Jamal can't convert Ben Hendricks, and he's fouled by Nas Roberts.
It's his second foul.
Nas' second. Giovanni will inbound. Shamar guarded by Rodriguez. And Shamar loses his footing, but still keeps the dribble going. Koulibaly elevates, can't get the roll. And Giovanni with the putback and one.
That's just demoralizing. You do a great job on the defensive end, forcing a bad shot. They don't get the offensive rebound putback, and you get the and one.
So now they're calling something else.
It's his third foul.
Rakeem Darrell's not on the floor, is he? Oh, there he is. Sorry, number 3. He was over talking to the coach. I'm looking down this way. Yeah. So I think they called a T on Giovanni for his yell after. Stop it, man. Let the kids play, referee. It's the playoffs, man. He's got to let out some emotion. That's nonsense.
I work U of T games just about every time they play at the Goldring Center. There was just one game the referees wouldn't allow any emotion at all. Every time that a player would scream, every time, even communication started to turn into technicals, little dinky fouls. I think there were 25 total fouls called in the third quarter.
Garbage refereeing. So Giovanni now will try to convert his 3-point play. And he does. 77-58. Orangeville comfortably in front here in the third quarter. Mullins. Ben Hendricks guarding Nas Roberts. And nice finish from Nas. Nas is like Shamar at the other end. And he's fouled. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. So Shamar's also got another younger brother playing some hoops. So the Rattan Mays lineage continues. His brother Xavier, one of my favorite college players over the past couple years, really loved his game at Florida State and love to see when he's playing for the Canadian national team as well. I think he's one of those guys that definitely deserves a look back in the NBA. He got it last year. Hopefully work his way back in before the end of the year. Mullins. Colleen Mullins, everything but the finish. And knocked out of bounds by Ben Hendricks. It's going to be Central Tech ball underneath the Orangeville basket. Wide open look. And everyone in Orangeville sleeping. Nas Roberts with the finish. Tyrese doing a little fancy footwork through everyone, the whole court. Tyree Samuel, just too easy. And Mullins going to get called with the charge. Shamar Rattan-Mays draws it. So back into the game, Jacob Masters, number 4. That's Mullins' 4th foul. So big loss for him to go to the bench. I think, though, you leave him there for the 51 seconds. You got to put him out there for the 4th quarter. He's been your best player for most of the game.
Oh, certainly. He's been like the most consistent player thus far for Central Tech, and any chance of a comeback has to be stemmed through him. It's an uphill battle right now for Central Tech, however.
So it's a frigid Toronto Friday night here at Ryerson University. Of course, tomorrow. What time is the first playoff game tomorrow?
The first playoff game tomorrow is at 2 o'clock, followed up by the 4 o'clock game.
So don't forget to tune back in to OSBA TV tomorrow, 2 p.m. Ben Hendricks missed on that attempt. And then, of course, the final Sunday at 5 p.m. Ben Hendricks with the finish right here at Ryerson University. Rattan-Mays sniffs that one out.
That was too easy.
Shamar slowing things down.
Look at those shoes.
They're
Very
pretty
nice.
slick, yeah. Hendricks take the 3, big man. Feeds it inside to Giovanni. Giovanni using that frame. Lovely turnaround and one. Giovanni Scott.
You look at this Orangeville lineup, there's an automatic mismatch for the 3 tallest guys on the floor just about all the time. There's nobody on this Central team who can physically match up with any of the bigs on Orangeville.
Well, Giovanni, the cousin of O'Shea Brissett, who's now playing down at Syracuse University, converts the 3-point play. And on senior night, Tony McIntyre told a great story about Giovanni as there's 8 seconds left here. I'll leave it till the break. Fuller for 3, misses on that attempt. Rattan-Mays, 1 second left, puts it up. It's got a chance, but off the backboard. Nice attempt from Shamar. So at the end of 3, Orangeville leads 86-62. So that story. So during senior night, all the coaches were doing speeches, and Giovanni, from Jane and Finch area, brought up to Athlete Institute to play. And, school wasn't exactly his thing, attending school. And so at the end of his first week, Giovanni went up to Coach Tony McIntyre and said, "Coach Tony, you're going to be so proud of me. I went to school all 5 days this week." And Tony's like, "Well, Giovanni, you're supposed to go to school all 5 days." And he's like, in the past 2 years, I don't think I've ever gone more than 2 or 3 times a week. So that's why Giovanni's had to do a year down in JUCO. He's got to get the grades, but he's done nothing but great things from the coaches. Hear about how much Giovanni's improved in the classroom, because obviously you see his game on the court. He's ready for NCAA Division I right now. Just got to pick up that classroom work, and we'll be seeing him on TV in about 18 months. Little Montel Jordan. This is how we do it.
And Orangeville showing a good example of how they do it, with a 14-point lead heading into the 4th quarter.
So if I'm Central Tech, I'm going to put a blue jersey on this little short guy here. So we got the stat sheet here. Who's the high? So Central Tech, Nas Roberts with 11. Jamal Fuller with 20. And then the high for Orangeville is Shamar with 18 and Tyree Samuel with 18. It's funny because Tyrese has barely broken a sweat. So every single player on Orangeville has at least 3 points. Kenny Ngosi with a bucket, whereas Rodriguez and St. Clair yet to score. Also Nagure as well. Back to the action. Orangeville trying to put away Central Tech here in the fourth quarter. Malachi Davis guarding Shamar. Just dancing through everyone. Gorgeous finish. Shamar Rattan-Mays.
He's so smart. It appears he's like half a second ahead of every other player every time he gets the ball in his hands.
And remember when I was talking about how that, no first team all-star for Shamar? It's like, come on now. Show me a better point guard in the league then.
It's going to be difficult, but when you're averaging 7 assists a game, clearly it's going to stand out. When you got guys who can hit shots like the rest of his teammates, though.
Yeah, it is. It's an embarrassment of riches. There's just too many guys.
And a lot of these awards might be given out with college scholarships in mind.
Either way, you see Moncrief over there on the Matthew hasn't really had much of a game, hasn't really gotten going. Yet Orangeville still well out in front, 88-62. Justice Prentice at the line. Justice, one of 2 transfers from Bill Carruthers on Orangeville this year. Ngosi the other. Bill Carruthers, very young team. At the bottom of the OSBA this year, which is saying because 2 years ago they were one of the best teams. Stephon Smith, Emmanuel Miller, who's now down playing at La Lumiere in the U.S., part of the Canadian U18 team. Roberts took about 7 steps, got away with it. Samuels rips it out of his hand. Tyrese showing his ball handling. Koulibaly has that one picked off by Malachi Davis. Malachi can't get it to go. Giovanni with the loose ball. Take the shot. Jefferson, why not? Rims out. Rebound Tech.
Oh, great move there.
Lovely from Malachi Davis. Nice ball fake. Glides through everyone.
Davis with the kiss off the glass.
And Davis, really the one constant for Central Tech. He's been doing it, really controlling the offense well for this Central Tech team.
Giovanni with the turnarounds. Rims out. And what's the call? Ben Hendricks looks like he's getting called with something.
Yeah, he launched an elbow right at Malachi Davis. Good call by the officials. Malachi Davis been a pest on both ends of the floor for Central Tech against this Orangeville team. A lot of extracurriculars he's been involved with thus far.
So Ben crafty like that. He's not afraid to get an elbow up and let him know. So I think not so much emotion, but more just let's see if I can get away with it. You know?
Might as well. Every team's got a player like that who's willing to give it for the team. Makes the game a little more exciting.
So Ben, one of my favorite players in the league. I've had the chance to see him grow over the past 3 years. And
physically
and as a player, everything. He's just really, really blossomed, and really looking forward to see him on the next level. I think he's going to be a dominant force for Ball State for a couple of years to come. Giovanni, come on now, Giovanni Scott. Jukes him, hammers it down, the rim's still shaking.
And boom goes dynamite for Giovanni Scott.
Did he really just do the boom goes the dynamite? Fuller. Who's that one on Giovanni? No, it's on Tyrese. No, they did correct it. Ref doesn't know who he's calling it on, is what it is. So pretty cool. So we got the coaches from AI Red and AI Black because it's all under one family. Coach Patrick and Jeremy Pope over there helping out. And so that's the luxury Orangeville has, is they can borrow from those other coaching minds to come help them out. Another set of eyes never hurts.
Yeah, and you might as well bring the guys along for the ride. Likely going to win the championship this year. Definitely the favorites coming into this one. So why not? Come cheer for your guys. Come help out the head coach as little help as he might need.
Well, as you can see, more coaches on the bench than there is players right now for Orangeville.
It's an interesting observation. It looks like the coaching to player ratio is 6 to 9.
How many high school teams you see with that, right?
It's going to be interesting tomorrow if the Rise Prep coaches join the TRC team.
I think they absolutely will. I mean, obviously, after the incidents of today, as Koulibaly weaves through, he's foul. He'll go to line and shoot too. You know, that program, they've got to join together.
Exactly, and I'm sure a lot of the Rise players will be at this game as well, cheering on their teammates. Or their classmates, I guess.
Yeah. So Jefferson at the line. I believe Jefferson's come down from Montreal to play for Orangeville, as is Tyree Samuel. Lugens Dort, last year, of course, down playing at Arizona State right now. Tearing it up, potential NBA draft pick this year is obviously Ignas Brzdikis at Michigan. Orangeville's the OSBA MVP last year. I think the last 2 years. Matthew Alexander Moncrief. Oh, everyone's sleeping. How did they not put that up?
Yeah, lapse of concentration there. There were some fans behind us counting down the shot clock, but
so Tony
nobody on Orangeville
McIntyre
wanted to listen.
Saying that's on me. Sorry, Ryan. But he was like, that's my bad. Yeah, there was just a lack of urgency there.
Yeah, I honestly didn't even notice the shot clock was down either. Maybe it's because how casual the team was being.
Well, remember we talked about all those coaches. Why weren't they shouting down? Normally they give the shot clock countdown.
Yeah, come on, guys. We're giving you so much praise. Earn your cash.
Ball bouncing around, knocked out of bounds. Moncrief couldn't get a handle on it. The lead at 31 for Orangeville. 6:28 to go in the ball game. Thanks for joining us here on OSBA TV. It's been a great day of basketball so far. And the weekend just getting revved up. I can't wait for Sunday. So last year's, I believe the OSBA Championship was down in Guelph last year. Yeah. Floater from Mullins can't go, and that's tipped out of bounds by Samuel.
And Guelph themselves have a very good broadcasting crew down there. A lot of people from CSM working with the crew up in Guelph. They call it Griff Vision. So very interesting. And a lot of universities really catching on to this whole college basketball broadcast.
Yeah, I've seen a few highlights, and definitely, although I had a laugh, I think it was, I shouldn't be calling these guys out, but I think it was Laurier. Someone hit a big shot, and it sounded like a 12-year-old kid calling the game. I was like, man, that's a big highlight. Like,
yeah, you don't want to be on the butt end of a big highlight.
So 95-64. So I'm having a look here. This is the exact camera I just bought yesterday. I'm pretty excited about it. 4K, Sony HD 4K. Got to up the social media game. You got to stay relevant. Spend a few bucks sometimes.
Got to get them posts up.
Well, I'm not using it this weekend because I still haven't figured out how to use it. But by BioSteel weekend in 2 weeks, I'll be debuting the new gear. Mullins kick out. So for the first time today, we're seeing Lachlan Maudsley, mentioned OSBA All-Academic, number 25 on the floor. That's Kevin Ngure, draws the foul. He'll go to the line and shoot two. Fuller coming back on, as is Giovanni Scott for Orangeville. Maudsley got his quick appearance, now back to the bench.
And great recovery there by Colleen Mullins, going for the high five. Left blank, but gave himself a nice five there. I think it was a bit out of your camera, but very innovative from the young man.
96-54, 5:34 to go in the ball game. Orangeville Prep cruising. Mentioned dozens of players from this Orangeville program littered all over the NCAA right now, and of course the NBA and Thon Maker and Jamal Murray we spoke about quite a bit today. Ngosi with the putback.
I wouldn't mind a Jamal Murray in a Toronto Raptors jersey one day.
Hopefully. Nas Roberts misses. Scott inside to Hendricks from the free throw line. Ben has that range. Couldn't get that one to drop, though. Mullins, why not for 3? Short on that attempt. Rebound Ngure. Jamal Fuller. And Ngure just desperately tosses that up. I thought he was falling down, but he drew the foul. He sold it well. Either way, he'll get 2 free throws. So stopped in for a hangry burger. It's right at Yonge and College here in downtown Toronto. They have the, I'm a vegetarian, believe it or not. So they got a nice veggie burger up there with one of the better ones in the city. But they've also got a full meat selection. It's one of those gourmet burger spots.
Yeah, it's actually really good. I've been there a couple times now.
Yeah. Highly recommended.
Reasonably priced. They got a few cool specials going on.
Yeah. Some crisscross jump going back to the early 90s. R.I.P. One of these guys passed away about 2 years ago. Noted for wearing their jeans and shirts backwards. Believe it or not, that was the style in 1992. Fuller for 3. Jamal Fuller keeps hitting them. Koulibaly directing traffic. Can't get it to go. Well, shout out to Charles Hantamakis there, the head coach of Thornley, one of my favorite coaches in the league. He was the head coach last year at Athlete Institute, so I got to know him pretty well up in the gym and just love the passion he coaches. He's one of the coaches for the BioSteel All-Canadian game, and it's a great coach. Man, you see how chill he is there when he's on that bench, him hollering, screaming. He's like, step aside when Charles gets revved up.
Maybe that's why they have so many assistant coaches. When he gets hyped up, they need 6 people to hold him back.
Mullins hits the free throw, lead at 28, 4 minutes to go. So if you're Central Tech, you got to press. You got to try and create some kind of turnover.
Yeah, you got to show some life towards the end of your season. Of course, the deficit right now is insurmountable. However, you do want to end on a high. You don't want to end on a low.
Jefferson Koulibaly with a nice finish there. Spin around, got away with a travel, I thought. Refs putting the whistles away. So in the old days of the Raptors, Orangeville's got 100. We'd all be getting a free slice of pizza right now.
Oh, those were the dog days when Jose Calderon was in there. 22 wins, battling every season. The best part of the Raptors games then were the cheese slices of pizza.
We'd all be cheering
you'd be
for the 100.
$3 for the ticket, you get the free slice of pizza. Oh, those were the good old days.
So I'm going to show my media pass at Pizza on the corner, and the guy's going to look at me and be like, what?
What are you talking about?
I wouldn't eat pizza anyway. Terrible pizza. We're downtown Toronto, man. There's some great pizza down here.
Oh, yeah. What do you like down here?
I'm a Papacheos and Cora's over at Spadina and Harvard. Spadina just south of Bloor. To me, that's the best pizza slice in the city.
Have to go check that out. I'm looking
Highly
for
recommended.
myself.
Right across, it's like the U of T area, so Spadina, Harvard. If you want a meat slice, Papacheos is the one. If you want a vegetarian slice, Cora's is the one. They're right next to each other. As the Newfies would say, they're side by each.
Side by each. I like that.
My son's a Newfie, so I'm allowed to say that, yeah. Well, he's half Newfie. Colleen Mullins has that sniffed out by Moncrief. I want my Matthew Alexander Moncrief highlight. Hasn't come yet. Giovanni can't get the roll. And he'll go to the line and shoot 2.
See, I'm more of a Blaze Pizza kind of guy. You been down there?
No.
Dundas Square.
Yeah?
It's a pretty popular joint across the States. They brought one up to Canada. I'm pretty sure LeBron James owns about 15% of the company.
Nice. So Criminal, Big Slice, which was just right at the corner of Yonge and College, an institution in Toronto, just closed down within the past year. They're going to knock it down. Surprise, they're building condos in downtown Toronto.
Speaking of institutions, around the Mattamy Athletic Center, right across the street, the Golden Griddle. Been shut down for years now. They're not doing anything with it. Bring it back, guys.
Yeah.
Bring it back. Let's start a petition. $8.99 all-you-can-eat ribs. Give me a better
all
place.
night long, and they're usually 24 hours, those Golden Griddles, too.
Man, I miss that. I used to go there with my dad and my grandfather.
I used to go to the one that used to have one down on Front Street right next to St. Lawrence Market for years. That closed down a couple years ago as well.
I know. There's one in Barrie. I might take my dad up there one of these days. Hopefully it's as good as I remember the last one to be.
It is. It is. You know where I went the other day? I went for a nice Denny's breakfast the other day. Got the whipped cream with the chocolate chips on the pancakes and good stuff. You can see it's dinner time here. Ryan and I, all food is on our mind. It's,
I still haven't eaten dinner yet. I don't know about you, but all I've had for lunch was a turkey sandwich. So
yeah, I'm a little bit peckish. I think I'm going to have a Molson Canadian for dinner tonight. We'll see.
Yeah, I might have a couple of those as well.
I got to do my radio shift tomorrow. You can hear me on News Talk 1010 and Jewel 88.5, 3 to 10 p.m. tomorrow. And then on 6 a.m. till noon, I switched my shift so I could do the 5 p.m. game, call that. And Ngosi wanted to make the Sports Center top 10, couldn't quite get it to go there.
So in my show today, we put in the OSBA game from 10 o'clock.
Oh, is that what you showed it? Yeah?
Yeah. No, we so for our radio show, we were updating some stuff. We decided why not? Toss in some OSBA. Good game. Very interesting game, to say the least.
Yeah.
And I'm sure tomorrow's game will be no different. Of course, the 2 o'clock game, followed up by the 4 o'clock game. Going to be very interesting to see which of these 4 teams can make the finals.
I'll be watching the live stream tomorrow while I'm at work, in between my radio hits. So I'll definitely keep an eye on it. Ngosi can't get the second one to go. Colleen Mullins. I'd like to see Central Tech maybe empty the bench a little bit more, give guys like Maudsley, and there's Colleen Mullins with a 3. Give Maudsley and these guys a couple more minutes. Rodriguez, guys have been buried on the bench. 2 minutes left, 30-point game. Moncrief, there's the highlight. Matthew Alexander Moncrief would have been good from the free throw line.
Matthew Alexander Moncrief bringing down the house once again.
I've been waiting for it all day, and now you'll see MA be like, okay, take me off, I'm done.
He got his. Let's let someone else get theirs.
Exactly.
Maybe bring a couple of these assistant coaches in the game.
Yeah. Well,
why not?
Coach Brandon Enos can play, I can tell you that. I've seen him shoot around with the gym.
You play him?
No. He'll outmuscle me too much, yeah. Moncrief wants another highlight. Keep fighting for it. Gets his own putback. Ben Hendricks, all 6'10 of them, can't get that to go. Somebody put the ball in the net. And Gurray comes up with a loose ball. Fuller for 3, why not? Jamal Fuller. Nice afternoon for Jamal.
Yeah, Jamal Fuller cooled off a little bit after his first 3 threes, but getting back on the score sheet once again. And we'll see a couple fresh faces checking into this one. Andy Sinclair, number 5, coming in.
And there's my guy Lachlan Maudsley, as mentioned, back into the game. So if I'm them, hey, you get the shot, put it up.
Yeah, of course. Why not? Get your name on the score sheet.
We had a cool moment last week up at Orangeville. So Chris Menzeral, and there's Moncrief, eats Malachi Davis alive. Ben Hendricks does the same.
Then again, there's the caution about what you were just saying, putting a shot up when you got 4 guys who are 6'10".
Relentless. And Giovanni fell over. Nice dunk, Kenny Ngosi. But Chris Menzeral mentioned he's basically the equipment manager. He's been a volunteer, and they let him dress for the final home game for Orangeville, and he hit 3 threes in the last couple minutes, came in, and was unbelievable. And I was like,
good story.
Why didn't this guy have a jersey all year?
Why couldn't you get a jersey?
Yeah, I wouldn't fit into it. My gut wouldn't squeeze into these nice Orangeville jerseys. Yeah. Giovanni, a little careless.
Big steal.
And Rodriguez trips over his own foot. Unfortunate. So thanks for joining us here on OSBA TV. We'll be doing some interviews after the game. I want to try and get Shamar if I can. And then if you want to do the guys from Central Tech, so pick your guy from Tech you want to talk to. So just check which one of them you want to talk to. So Malachi Lovely. Ooh. You can see that from Malachi Davis. He's got it in him. You're wondering, where was that a little earlier in the game? So Giovanni Scott is done for the afternoon. Oh, that's Giovanni's 5th. Justice Prentice back in the game. Justice got the start. Coming back into the game. Malachi converts. Every time I hear the name Malachi, I think of the 80s horror movie Children of the Corn. The two bad guys in it. One of them was Malachi. Google him. And there it is, Koulibaly just trying to dribble out the game. Davis won't let him. You got to have a little bit more sportsmanship, shall we say. So thanks for joining us. Ryan, any closing thoughts?
It was a pretty good game. Orangeville dominated from start to finish. Central cut it close. But about halfway through the third, Orangeville entirely took over as expected. Solid performance from Central, being able to hold them as close as they did for as long as they did, but Orangeville, just a juggernaut. They're the clear favorites in this tournament, and they're going to be trucking into the semifinals.
Whoop, there it is. Orangeville, 110-84. So thanks for joining us. I'm Chris McKee, joined by Ryan Siegel. Don't forget, 2 p.m. tomorrow, more from the OSBA Championships.